What's going on, you
Yo.
dead set heads? And welcome to a nice little special edition. This is usually not in me time slot that I love doing, but when you get this sexy hunk of a man on the show, you make bloody time. Don't worry about it, kids. Dad will read you a story. You know, you might already be asleep. I'm going to talk to Uncle Lockie. Ladies and gentlemen, ready? Hey, the number one arm wrestling show on the planet. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler. I'm joined by my very good friend, Lachlan Adair, the ANvil, ready to conquer Mount Norway. Lockie, mate, talk to me. Talk to me.
Man, that's quite the intro. That was that was good. It was good.
Oh, you know, I've got to pay respects. The bigger the intro, the more I like you.
Yeah, I'm very flattered.
What is news, mate? What is going on?
Man, what is news? I am way too strong for Lars.
Yes.
That's the news.
Yes. And rumor has it, the loser of that match has to shave their hair off.
Oh no, the stakes are high.
The importance of this matchup. Oh, God. Oh, but, mate, every time I see you, you look incredible. You're looking in shape. Some of your lifts on bloody Instagram. Like, damn. Like, I sometimes, you know, Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler might make an advance on me, and I'll be like, oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Lachlan Adair's Instagram. You're away.
Yeah, no, this pic's going real good, but you know, I got young Mackenzie O'Donnell. He does all of my programming. He's just a little known guy down in Melbourne, down in your sticks. Very, very clever, and we just kind of decided to lean into my genetics. I always, you know, even before arm wrestling, I had big biceps, thick wrists. So it was like, all right, let's lean in and start to really concentrate. So the lifts have come up real quick. It's been good.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, that's what we want. So what's been the big journey from last King of the Table to this King of the Table? Obviously, we didn't get the chocolates against Paul Lynn. What's changed? What's new? What's made you a better arm wrestler December 14th in order to defeat Lars?
Well, my stomach is settled, so that's one thing. I was having some stomach issues and everything going on, so it was real hard for me to maintain weight for a bit, but we've just sorted that out. So the weight has come back on. You know, training has changed. There's been some refinements to my general hook style that I've been doing, and everything's just clicking into place. So food has been good. My weight's good. I'm sitting around 107, 108. Training has been handed off to Mac because, as you know, I do a lot of coaching and do a lot of programming, but it's different when someone else does it for you. Right? So I've just kind of done as I'm told. The guy's a physical therapist, so you know it keeps me in good nick. And yeah, no injuries.
Well, you've always done your own programs. I mean, you coach other people, so yeah, it's like food tastes better when someone else cooks it for you. Like, unless you're a chef. So
well, Dan and I worked out that he's just, you know, he actually started as one of my clients who I was coaching, and it didn't take me long until I worked out this guy is way smarter than I am. I was like, hang on a minute, what's going on? And after that, obviously, stopped charging him, and we've stayed in contact since. He's done his finished his physical therapy degree. I think he was doing a PhD for a little bit there. I don't know if he's continuing to do that, but very, very clever guy. So, you know, you got to someone who understands the body like that, you hand off their programming to them. That's kind of been the big change from Paul Lynn leading up. Is I've just given him the reins, and it's been bloody fun.
Well, you mentioned what you're sitting at 107, 108 kilos.
Yeah.
So is this a 105 match?
I think because Lars kind of took the match, I think he had like 6 or 7 weeks notice. I think there is a little bit of wiggle room. I don't think it's 105. I think it's going to be a little bit more because he's coming down from like 120.
I was about to say, yeah, he pulled Michael Todd at 115 when we were there.
Yeah. So he's got to cut some weight fairly quick. I'm never someone that really gives a shit about any of that. So, I know he's going to be 120 on the day. It doesn't matter what he cut down to the day before. So whatever. I kind of balanced it out, right? Like he's got a 5-hour flight. We've got 30 hours to get to New Jersey. So he's got some weight to lose, but I'm generally not too fussed. So,
well, usually I'm like, we've said it before, whether it's multiple shows or you and I in person, like for you and I and Ryan, like internationally, King of the Table's like our home ground, so to speak. Yeah. It's one flight, it's direct to Dubai. But now you're off to Atlantic City, baby.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be fun, but. It's kind of like if we get a really good crowd, like what we're all like when we get a really good crowd. We thrive off that. So being able to be at a venue that's packed.
Mate, I don't know if you can see goosebumps. I'm picturing you staunch, hook, right, scream, down, and then you turn to the crowd and 1,500 people suddenly become Australian and just start cheering for you. Oh, wow. Clean up aisle 3. I'll tell you, during my live commentary, I will lose it. I will. And you know what frustrates me the most? I've been pretty honest and open with everyone because I won't be there this time. But finally to be at a King of the Table with a crowd, would be nice when I give it my all on the microphone. And Dubai's not known for their cheering, so I would have thrived at that crowd at Atlantic City.
No, it's going to be fun, and thankfully, you get a break from Australian summer and get some cold weather. It'd be nice. So no
way, man. And so.
I mean, Lars, we've needed to get him out of this country for a while because he beat everyone. He's beaten everyone in Australia except this guy. So, there's a little bit of heat behind this one because he holds his head a bit high about that little fact, and I'm taking it as somewhat my duty to make sure he leaves the venue with his head hang low.
Thank you. Fly the flag. Lars, I love you. But in that 20 minutes that you pull Lachlan Adair, you are enemy number 1. I will be gunning for you.
He's like the loveliest guy. We get along great, but I've got a score to settle. So
that's good. And Swedish Arm Wrestling TV wants to know, is Lockie going to take the Berserker back to Australia as a trophy when he wins?
The Berserker.
The Berserker. What are you on about, Criggy? The Berserker. I don't know. But Richard Check says, hi, guys. Hope to see get the win, Lockie. Johnny Cooper, ready bang, the real Aussie number 1. Thank you, Johnny, but let's not disrespect the guest. Lockie, Oceania number 1. Don't be calling me the real number 1 in front of Lockie. Come on now, he's our guest. We love him. So Viking terms, okay. Well, we talk boomerangs and kangaroos, so we'll take whatever. We'll take it all back from Norway. I've been there twice.
I'll chuck a wombat at him. I don't care that deeply for wombats, and I think it's a worthy cause, Or we can chuck a koala at him. He might get chlamydia. We don't know.
Oh, yeah, he might get it again. So it's I can see you legit shot putting a wombat, just yeah. You know what, Lars? Give me a moment, and then you just just shot put a wombat at him. They're big burly things, but it is happening December 14th. Yeah, I just think it's a fun match. I'm really excited for you. have you been more? What I'm more interested in is when Lars pulled Matearangi at King of the Table. He tried something different, tried coming in for a hook and things like that. When he got a bit tired, coming for the press. Are you more focused on just defending his press, or are you working on the Lachlan Adair way will just be too strong?
Well, it's a bit of a finesse between both, right? So, of course, the bicep is going to come in handy if he manages to get his press in, which, let's be honest, I think anyone would be a bit silly to allow that, where possible, to let that get in. And there are some very simple ways that we can negate the press, and these are things when strength is relatively equal, the press is something that is easy to negate with posture, position, and even just, get the jump. So, look, the bicep is there as a bit of a backup. But as per usual, the quickest way to victory is the straight line, and I do that in a very twisted manner. So the idea, as is with all matches, is I'm just going to twist them up and just start taking muscles away slowly. So, look, he does have a top roll. He does have a press. I am not even remotely worried about that hook of his. But some interesting kind of things when I watched that match with Matearangi was the first 2 rounds, Matearangi did really well. And then his hand blew up, got tired, and then Lars, being such an endurance athlete, he managed to get the ladder wins. Now, I typically don't have that problem. And I've certainly been training away to ensure that my hand doesn't blow up. So there's been a few key things that have changed where the differences have kind of cascaded from there as I've had months to be able to solidify these changes.
So you say you're not just relying on strength, Lockie. Have you got a bit of technique happening with your game? Oh, this is mouth-watering sexy.
Well, there always was, but of course, sometimes, experience trumps all. But the strength is there. That's the thing. Like, I'm stronger than. It's interesting. All of my arm wrestling lifts are up exponentially than when I was 115 kilos. My general lifts are down in terms of like pressing and stuff like that, but my back and right arm remains the same size as it was when I was 115 and stronger. So we're in a good spot.
And I think we've I'm one on arm wrestling mats. I like it because to me it works out. Lars pulled Matearangi. Lars struggled. Had to rely on endurance to beat Matearangi. I've seen you crush Matearangi in a backyard pub. That was a pretty good trick, that one. But crushed him. You know what I mean? So if arm wrestling maths teaches me anything, you should win quite convincingly.
And that was back then too. And, at times where this is where it can kind of be difficult when you're the top rank in your country is sometimes it's difficult to find sparring partners. So it was very easy for me to just muscle people into my hook, where I've made some differences there where I don't need to do that, and someone like Arakli exploited that exactly. And you can go back and watch that match. You'll see I pull back trying to get in and hand gets busted out. So I've circumvented that whole thing entirely. And again, I've been healthy for a really decent amount of time. And yeah, this is definitely a better package than last time. But I think even before the David Arabuli match, much stronger now than I was then. So.
Well, that Arabuli match, a fun story, bit of behind the scenes for everyone. It was quite funny. It's actually my top 5 favourite Lockie Adair moments. You and David jumped on the table left arm. And it didn't really go your way. David was, because you were more just wanting to see where he puts his hands and everything. And he was just like, yeah, okay, beauty. And then I looked at you and you came over and I went, how'd you go? And you're like, oh, he's in so much. Along the lines, I'm paraphrasing. It was like, oh, he's in so much trouble tomorrow. He's got nothing. And I was like, oh, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear because our first kick of the table together, I was kind of in your corner in the crowd when you pulled a Rackley. And I think after round 3, you're like, I've tried everything. I've got nothing. I've gone everywhere along those lines. So it was a cool moment where you were just like, all right, David, have fun. Cool. Yep, have fun. Okay. And then you're like, oh, he's in a world of trouble. 24 hours later, boom.
Oh, I knew he was in trouble because I was after pulling a Rackley. Not after pulling, I was pulling a Rackley with my left hand and smoked it. So, and then I just didn't get to beat anything. Good pat, you're fucked.
Yeah. That should be a shirt. Good pat, you're fucked. So you can get that at LachlanAdair.com. Before I ask Criggy's question, what would you rank higher as a win? Beating David Arabulli, the Georgian, or Lars Rorbakken?
Lars?
I'm not looking for you to throw shade at any athlete. I just love seeing how people rank their wins and things like that. So this would be higher on the list as a big important win for you.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he's been around for a long time and he's done really well. Just in general, like he has lost a few, cool, but like look who he lost against, Michael Todd. Like,
yeah, could potentially in one match have a shot against Levan if he beats Hermes.
Yeah. So it's like, who are you losing to? It's like when people are lucky lost. I'm like, yeah, to like a 4-time world champion. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, mate.
That's fine.
How quickly the internet forget. So this one here, when you beat Lars, who's next in line and why?
I'd like Matt Master 105.
At 105. Okay, he can get down to 105 pretty easy, couldn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. Why not? Like
Matt
Master's one of those pullers. Just chuck him on a card. He's exciting. I like it.
Yeah, but he's tall, and if I can get him to open his angle enough to come down to my level and start getting my bones on top of his, then I think it'll be a fun match.
So it would be a fun match on the left, you and Leonidas.
Yeah. I mean, I'd need a little bit of notice for that because I don't train my left arm for shit. It does well, but I don't train it. Yeah, a little bit of notice, but yeah, Leonidas, that'd be fun.
Nice. So of course, all the hype around Ricard Boardman that's been happening lately, everyone wants to see you two have a match. If I was managing you both, I would say no. I personally don't want you two to pull because I want more people from our country on the big stage. It does nothing, in my opinion. Let's see how Ricard does internationally. We're going to see him take on Dunn Underwood. Looks the goods. Obviously, you know better than most. You train with him and bits and pieces. But it's like we need more people from Australia on the big stage. And if Australians go head-to-head, someone's got to lose, and it lowers their stock. So,
yeah, look, he does have to earn it. He's done well. He's done well at AWE, but he's beaten all the same people I have. And look, there's lots of controversy around Ricard and I, but, that's the nature of the internet. When you turn up to training fresh and late, where I'm fatigued and beat down, being in the middle of a conditioning block or whatever it is, have been training for half an hour, then he rocks up, then yeah, he's going to destroy everyone. But the rare times where it actually has been fresh for fresh, those sessions haven't been posted because it's me just dung.
Well,
training Lockie is very, very different to peak Lockie. And that's, young man's hubris. Ricard and I have a very, the way that we train together is hilarious. It's just a huge pissing contest. It's always good-natured. And look, he should feel like he can beat me. Absolutely, if that's what's going to drive him to get better. And as his training partner, even though I might be the target, I'm doing everything I can to actually help him get stronger and understand the sport better. Because, look, he's a 125 kilo guy. I'm 105.
Yeah.
Eventually there will come a time where I'm not overall number one. And I have no right to be when there's guys who are 120, 130, 150 kilos that just need more time in the sport, and they'll get there, So Rickard, we really hope that he sticks it out. Great for the sport, great for the country, great for his country. I think it's really good for him. But yeah, I think he's a couple of years away.
Still a couple of years. Well, speaking a couple of years, I was doing a bit of a poll and a bit of a chat, and a lot of people think Brian Shaw, couple of years, he'll knock on the door in the top 10. From what you've seen and from your understanding, what's like? I'm very happy Brian's coming in. I'm very happy Eddie's coming in. Do not get me wrong, but there's just something I feel weird about people that have dedicated their whole life into the sport, and then a big strong man can just take 2 years and be top 10. Something just doesn't. I don't know. Two magnets going the wrong way for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. So with strongman, obviously their tendons are conditioned for straight line type of movements. They're not conditioned to the rotational, twisty movements where muscle fibers are being asked to go cross-directional to the fibers, right? So it can put a lot of long-term strain on elbows. And look, I have seen his video. He's doing a lot of active recovery on his elbows. His grip strength is probably better than Levan's. Very likely, his grip strength alone is better than Levan's. But as we know, that doesn't mean you're going to win an arm wrestle. I think it's going to take him longer than a couple of years. He's certainly got just pure mass, and like his hand is so big, it would be so difficult to grip. You're just gripping like an ultra fat grip the whole time. So that poses difficulties in what that feels like, what that looks like. But I don't think he's going to have just that torque through his shoulder and his elbow that takes years to develop. Like, that's going to be a lot of pain. And you remember when people are really strong coming into the sport, it takes them a lot longer because they're putting their tendons through way more than like your 75 kilo guy coming in, right? So sure, their tendons are already thick and they're already developed, but getting used to that sideways rotational pressure that is arm wrestling takes a lot of time. So I don't know. We just have to see how he goes against Eddie. I think he's going to run through Eddie fairly quickly.
You think so?
I would probably actually like to see. I mean, eventually, I think a Leonidas and Brian Shaw is a good match. Because Leonidas he moves well. He's got a couple of years experience now. He's kind of a couple years ahead, and he's another big, strong dude and an influencer. And I think it would be remiss of us to give Brian like a dedicated, serious arm wrestler right now, because the risk is someone in the 105, 115 kilo class might still be able to run through Brian if we can twist his arm enough and enough leverage on him. So it's untested. I'm really curious. He seems to be moving well on the practice table. We obviously know he's very good at dealing with the big show and the big lights, and that's not going to something that's going to affect his game negatively. I guess my concern for Brian in particular would be that he's getting too much influence, too many mouths in his ear, and it kind of. So, if he can stick to one particular path and one coach for a really good season and just limit how much influence he's getting, then might be able to fast track it. But that conditioning,
that's what Larry puts a lot of his. I wouldn't call it downfall, but like really bad progression. He puts that down because he had access to anyone.
Yeah.
Levan came over. Devin, I was saying it earlier, 20 people all telling him which way to move on the table. But you'll tell him different to the way I tell him. I'll tell him different to the way Devin tells him, and so on. And then Larry used to just kind of overload at the table, and obviously the results are in.
You notice with Larry is throughout all that, all that influence, all that coaching, all that help, his style didn't really change.
No.
So it was, I think if he focused much more on just what he was naturally falling into and where he was quite good, and, I've done something similar, lean into your genetics, lean into the way that you're more inclined to move naturally, and then train the shit out of that, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to know, because you've gripped up with one man before, I've just found a picture of him and he's looking incredible. I want to get your thoughts on this matchup here. We just want to make sure we get my man on the screen. We'll zoom in because he's looking pretty staunch at the moment. Hang on. And I'll just share that with yourself, Lockie, and everyone watching. Sandra Shedes is taking on Rustam Babayev. What's with the giggles?
It's saying shit. Look at that photo, man. I know what I'm looking at.
Look at huge.
Yeah, massive. What a unit. When's he competing at WAF next?
Do you think he's graduated from WAF?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
He's looking real good. But what do you think about that match? What do you think about Rustam and Sandras? You've felt a bit of Sandras on the table.
Who's he got? Rustam who?
Babayev.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Sandras is going to go right through him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No offense to Rustam, but
no,
that there is a lot more human. That's a big human. Where Rustam is not quite as much human.
Not quite as much. Well, yeah, he's 106 kilos there.
Hang on, how in that photo, Sandras is how heavy?
106.
Oh yeah, he graduated WAF for sure, looking like that. Okay. Rustam, how heavy is Rustam? He's still 85, 90s, right?
Well, he was pulling Paul in the 95s, I believe.
Okay. All right. It might not be that far away. I mean, it depends. Like, I guess if Rustam can really clamp down Sandras's wrist and just, clamp him, shit ton of down pressure, put Sandras on his bicep, he's got a shot. But Sandras looking like that.
I've never seen him look like that before.
I'm going to give it to Sandras. Yeah, Sandras has never looked like that. I've seen him. Actually, no. I don't think I've seen him under 110 for a while. Is this his first cut to 105?
Maybe,
because I know he competes at Euros and World a bit fluffy at 110, sorry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's 4 kilo difference. Yeah, it depends where his starting point. But still, this might be his first time down to 105.
There you go. Well, speaking of fluffy, there's some fluffy people in the main event. They're huge. They're massive. It's Levan and Jerry. A lot of people on the internet are saying that Jerry's got no chance. 0 chance. I'm a believer. I think he can do something, but I'm always too positive for arm wrestling fans. Has he got anything at all, Lockie? Anything?
I don't know. It'd be difficult if I was in Levan's camp. I'd just be watching Hermes versus Jerry. Now, the backstory, Jerry was unwell and got a whole bunch of stuff happened to him. But stylistically, what Hermes did was the perfect attack. So if I was Levan, I'd be looking at that, and that is well within his wheelhouse. It's well within his styles. He is quite versatile, the big guy. I would think stylistically that Levan can definitely get Jerry out of that press. But Jerry's a different beast right now. There's a lot more fire there. He's looking a lot healthier. He's looking stronger. And that press he's relentless. So I think Levan's going to win, but I think Jerry may potentially get the closest anyone has gotten.
Even better than Erdmes.
Maybe. It's just a style thing and the way that he just hangs on in the most abhorrent angles. And like Erdmes got in some pretty funky angles too, but Jerry that's his world. That's a good angle. There's Jerry. Holding it forever. So, he's coming in healthy. There's no flight. And look, he's an older guy. The flight's going to affect him more than it did 25 years ago. So the fact that he just has to go to Florida to New Jersey, same food, same town, no jet lag, not the same town, sorry, but same country.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to change anything, right? So it's kind of he's being put in the best position possible to make something happen against Levan.
Yeah. I mean, the way I say it, everyone's looking for someone that can hold 160, 170 kilos off their hand. Well, Jerry did that against Georgi Svetkov. Just sat there and held and held and held. They want to see someone flash pin, 6'7", 300+ pound guys. Jerry did that against Alex Cadorette. So I think someone's primed to shock the world.
I think so. I mean, I'm ready for it. Love Levan, but
Levan's awesome, but he's been too strong for too long.
Yeah. It's time for the underdog to have a go, and Jerry's awesome. We all love Jerry. So I'd be on my feet roaring if Jerry won.
Oh,
if Levan wins, it's like,
yeah, we'll expect it. Well, if King of the Table hasn't finished and I'm at my daughter's birthday party, I will launch her birthday cake.
Yeah.
If Jerry Cadorette wins. Then I'll probably be on Tinder because my wife will leave me, but it may be worth
Going on the tins.
She'll be like, what are you doing? And I'll be like, Jerry won. No one else will have any idea. And I've just thrown my daughter's birthday cake
at the wall.
You're not going to believe it. Or just come in and I press the cake from top to bottom.
Yeah. You shot put it like a wombat.
Yeah. Oh, that would be brilliant. But I just don't understand. I get people with technical issues and sound issues and things like that. But I just don't understand why people aren't buying this pay-per-view. I mean,
you know what is funny on that? I just want to talk about production, right? Because I know that's a complaint that happens all the time. Did you watch the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight?
Oh, well, the parts that they showed.
Yeah, well, I watched it live, and as it was happening, and guess who had sound issues, low production issues, video quality, and
lagging? Oh, yeah.
It's like everyone. You're on a stream. Expect some shit to happen. That's just what's going to happen. It doesn't matter who or what or where it's coming from. There's going to be issues. So it's just such a stupid complaint because it happens to the likes of Jake Paul. Like, come on.
And I think the frustrating thing for me personally when I read them, so when we're at the event, I can see the match. I can also see the production team. Yeah. And on the screen, it looks and sounds flawless. We can't hear the pay-per-view. So when everyone's like, the pay-per-view's wrong, like we get messages throughout the thing, and that's how we're able to tell the production team. But yeah, it's hard to fix something when we don't know well, not me personally, but they're like, there's sound issues. And you tell the production team, like, during a break, and they're like, oh, but what is it? Like, everything's working well on our end. What's the issue? And it could just be that one person with shitty internet, you know?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, just because you've got a fucking broadband, God, that's been around for a while.
Dial up.
You know, when you're on NBN, like, you've got cable, it's good internet. Sometimes mine goes to shit too. Like, there will always be a small percentage of people that the stream just messes up on, and it could even just be the country's internet, the signal. It could be anything, and of course they blame the production. It's just, yeah.
But what I would love for, what is it? We're 26th of November, 2.5 weeks to go. What the arm wrestling world should do is not only come in droves and buy the pay-per-view, but if you are having conversations on the internet about the matches or about Devon Larratt, because we all talk about him, is keep it as positive as you can. And why I say that is because if we're getting 10%, I always have this rule, 10% of the 10% usually come through. So Brian Shaw, let's go Eddie Hall. He's got 5 million followers on Facebook. 10% of those is 500,000. Usually 10% of that stick around. That's 50,000 people on Facebook stick around and watch arm wrestling. That's incredible. So I've lost sponsors because I'm like, oh, I'll sponsor the show and everything like that. And then they've gone and checked out all the discussion forums. And they're like, wow, you guys kill each other for a minuscule sport. Like, this person wishes you got cancer. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck, Jake. So if we, for 2.5 weeks, kept it positive, and all of these new fans that come in watching Eddie or Brian, mate.
Yeah, sit down. You're going to learn something new. If you've never seen arm wrestling before, we are professionals, and yes, we're arm wrestling within the rules. We don't need to know what you did in high school or what you did with your granddaddy. That's not professional arm wrestling. We have rules, we have regulations, and there is a way for things to be done. It's just the way it is. So, you know, when they get super narky, it's like, who are you yelling at? Like,
oh, mate, you should see him. Oh, wow, Devon's a cheater. Oh, no, Devon's the man. Well, you should just die. Oh, yeah, well, go suck your mother's tonsils out or something like that. And it's just like, go neck yourself. It's like, guys, calm down. Calm down a little bit.
Yeah, it's just arm wrestling.
Yeah. But what you should do right now, or anyone that watches this a little bit later on, first of all, get your prediction in and tell me why Lachlan Adair is going to beat the raw power from Norway, Lars Rorbakken. And second of all,
I can give you 21 reasons why.
Mate, I just need one.
Inches.
Oh, that's all I need. That's all I need. Babe, don't come in. Don't come in. That's all I need. But on the day, all of the Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw fans are going to be coming in late. It's going to be one of those things on the day. Holy shit, Eddie Hall's got his arm wrestling match today. I'm going to buy the pay-per-view. If you're an arm wrestling fan, don't be there when the site could possibly crash because 200,000 people are trying to buy the pay-per-view. Buy it now. No matches are going to be changed. Touch wood. 2.5 weeks. Sit back, enjoy, rock and roll. Lachlan Adair wins 6-0.
Also, I think there's one more day left on the early bird tickets for the venue. So if you're anywhere in New Jersey, you can pick up cheap tickets probably for the next within 24 hours. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
But yeah, jump on those.
Definitely. You get. I mean, what they've been begging. America have been begging. We need East versus West, and we need King of the Table. And now you're getting Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, and the number one arm wrestler on the planet. And whenever the number one arm wrestler on the planet, there is. It could even be a B-stick chance. But it's sport, and there is a chance Levan gets pinned. And why would you not want to be there in arm wrestling history? Lockie, you were there for Dave Chafee, Vitaly Laletin in Dubai. Incredible. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're in America, get the links, get them cheap. You can get them cheap now for the next 12 to 24 hours from this show going. You get to see some of the best in the world, including the number one man and the number one woman in the world. What more can you ask for, Lockie? What more?
I mean, apart from a fat steak, nothing. That's fat steak, arm wrestling. That's the card I want to watch. Steak, that.
Well, all right, Don, Core Sports, can you put Lockie on first or second on the card so we can have a nice steak while enjoying the rest of the event, and then I can ring in.
It'll be in the US, so I don't have to corner any of the Americans. They'll all be there. It'll be great. So I can just sit back and enjoy the show.
It'll be great. And I can tell everyone he's not lying. Another fun Lockie story is when I go around and I watch everyone, I say good luck to everyone, you know, king of the table and things like that. Everyone's warming up. They're pacing up and down. They're getting gritty. Lockie's just leaning, probably talking to Jeff, you know, Jeff Nicholson, our mate over there. Yes, yeah, cool, whatever. Hey, man, yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, where'd you get that coat? Oh, cool. Off you go. Get your coat.
You know what you didn't see was David was warming up, you know, going all mad. I did a bit of warming up, but you know those in like the green area, like where all the athletes hang out. Yeah. Those chairs are a bit comfortable, and I do remember having a bit of a nod.
You've just fallen asleep. That is brilliant.
I was thinking about it later. I mean, that would have messed with David because he's stressing, he's pacing, he's all over the place, and I'm having a nap. So,
well, the first Georgian to lose to an Australian
was sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, Lars will be watching this.
I'm going to bring that energy.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Lars is going to watch this a little bit later on. Have you got a final message for Lars?
Lars, I'm going to twist you and bend you and make you give up after the first round.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that, but I love it. That is happening December 14th. Make sure you grab your pay-per-views. Make sure you get your early bird tickets. Make sure, if you can, share some reels or get engaged in all the content. Core Sports are going hard on the advertising. They're getting their athletes to do podcasts, including Lockie. He's come on my channel. He's on the Core Sports channel. Just do what you can to support it. If the King of the Table keeps going, and the Aussie Arm Wrestler will be back at King of the Table 14. It's going to be brilliant. Lockie, first of all, thank you so much for coming on the show. Always appreciate your time. And two, good luck on whooping that ass.
Look, I'm hoping for a war. I don't train this hard to just run through someone. But if I run through him, I mean, who's upset, really?
Not this guy. That's sweeter than a delicious steak. There it is, guys. We're out of here. Before you go, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Dave Chafington, Esquire Jr. III, will be on the show, and he's going to talk about how he's going to whoop some ass as well. He's the ANvil Lachlan Adair. I'm the Aussie Arm Wrestler. We'll see you next time, you Dead Set Legends.